Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I'm gonna be doing a rant on an announcement that was made by the WWE, and that is that Jeff Jarrett is going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame 2018 class of 2018. So yes, I'm gonna be ranting about this because. One, I don't think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame legitimately. But number two, I'm going to get into the WWE side of this as well. Okay, so let me get this straight. Okay, so for about, how long has it been? 18 years has it been since WWE and Jeff Jarrett departed from the company? He was, in 1999, for anyone who doesn't remember, okay, No Mercy, there was a contract dispute, and, his contract expired. His contract expired in, like the day before the pay-per-view, the No Mercy pay-per-view, when he was supposed to defend the title against China. He was the current Intercontinental Champion at this time. So what happened is he basically held Vince McMahon up for money. Vince was forced to pay him. Now, Jeff Jarrett has claimed that, it was stuff that was owed to him. Vince has said that's not true. I don't want to get into that because I don't know if we really will know the truth about that at all. But, irregardless of who was right and who was wrong on that incident, that led to him losing the title to China, and China went on to win her first Intercontinental Championship, which would be the first women to win a man's title, by the way, which was a great accomplishment for China. But the thing is, here with Jeff Jarrett, is that Jeff Jarrett basically was blacklisted from WWE, even after WCW went out of business. When they took over WCW, when they bought it, and bought the tape royalty, the tape, library or whatever, basically, Jeff Jarrett was blacklisted for years by WWE. They never mentioned him. The only time Jeff Jarrett was ever mentioned for the last 18 years on WWE television since he departed with WWE in 1999, in late 1999, was when The Rock mentioned him. I think in 2012, when he was doing that storyline with John Cena, he had mentioned him, and Vince was not happy about it. But, of course, he ain't going to do anything to The Rock because, he's a movie star and stuff like that. But point being is the WWE never wanted anyone to mention anything about Jeff Jarrett. And you want to know what? I have the history of the World Heavyweight Championship DVD, which I believe was made in 2008 or 2009. I have that DVD, and I watched it, okay? These guys, these WWE officials, they bashed Jeff Jarrett. Any DVD where they remotely had to mention anything remotely about Jeff Jarrett and his WCW accomplishments or whatever, they trashed this guy. They trashed him. They were like, oh, he's not a true world champion, yada, 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 and stuff like that. Now, in terms of my personal opinion on why Jeff Jarrett doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, has nothing to do with the whole blacklisting controversy with Vince or whatever. That was their whole business. So that's not why I think Jeff Jarrett shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he was that good. I think the thing with Jeff Jarrett is he's overrated. Some people will probably say he's underrated. But I think he's overrated because, most of his accomplishments, even after WCW and after WWE, when he started TNA, he basically made himself, the guy. He had, title runs and stuff like that. So Jeff Jarrett, to me, I don't think he really deserves what he's getting. Especially, I think there are people that wrestled in the WCW that never won the world title that I think are more deserving than Jeff Jarrett. So if you're going to just say, well, Jeff Jarrett won 4 WCW World Heavyweight Championship, I don't think he's better than Scott Hall. Okay, now Scott Hall, now people are going to say, well, Scott Hall's in the Hall of Fame. No, he's not. Razor Ramon is in the Hall of Fame. If you remember, they never showed anything about Scott Hall. They did that for Kevin Nash, because Kevin Nash pushed for it, and he won that. But Scott Hall never went in. His WCW tapes were never shown, or highlights were never shown when he was inducted as Razor Ramon. Okay? His whole WWE career was put in the Hall of Fame. His WCW career was not. Okay? And that was mainly due to the fact that I think WWE eventually, what they want to do is what they did with the Four Horsemen, where they put the entire NWO group into the Hall of Fame. And that's why they wanted Scott Hall to be separate, his career to be separated. Still think it's stupid, but point being is Scott Hall WCW accomplishments, to me, are better than Jeff Jarrett's. Yes, Scott Hall never won the WCW World Championship, which to me was a crime in itself, but at least once. But the thing is Jeff Jarrett, to me, he only had, out of those 4 title runs, out of those 4 WCW World title runs, he was only the champion. He was three of those title runs were less than 2 weeks. Okay, his 2 title runs were 8 days, and then his 3rd title run was a day, and then his last title run was 41 days, and then that it ended with the whole, Bash of the Beach controversy with Hogan and and Russo, or Vince Russo and stuff like that, which eventually led to Booker T winning the title. Yada yada yada. I don't think he deserves it. I don't think, and of course in 2000 WCW was irrelevant at that point anyway, so I mean they were losing money, they were just putting it on whoever at that point anyways. But I don't think Jeff Jarrett deserves it. I don't think his merits alone deserves or qualifies good enough to be in the Hall of Fame, especially when you don't put Chyna in the Hall of Fame. I think Chyna did more for the industry than Jeff Jarrett is, and I remember, I didn't really cover this about the whole thing with Chyna not getting in, because some people are like, well, it doesn't matter that, Ivory got in before Chyna. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Like, I hear people say, oh, it's a fake Hall of Fame. If you're going to put people in... Okay, so here's the thing. When you're talking about a Hall of Fame, the people that deserve it first should get in before the people that are over here. Okay, it works in the NFL, it works in the NBA, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, this is wrestling, it's different, but they treat it as a Hall of Fame. So that's how it should work. Ivory has no business getting in the Hall of Fame before Chyna does. Okay? And that's the thing I hate about the Hall of Fame, is it's basically a politic type thing. It's not actually looking at the body of work of the career of the wrestler. If you're not on good terms with that wrestler, guess what? He isn't getting in the Hall of Fame. That's not a Hall of Fame. That's a bullshit Hall of Fame. Okay? That's a bullshit Hall of Fame. That's not a real Hall of Fame. Okay? Now, I know people will say that's a fake Hall of Fame, or there's not fake Hall of Fame, but it's WWE, it's scripted. So, they just put and I was telling them because, Gemini 888 made a video about this, how Chyna should be in the Hall of Fame, and I can't believe how many people dislike that video, because he's right. Okay? I don't care if, you want to say, oh, our athletes, we're not going to... People need to understand that Chyna won a man's Intercontinental title twice. She was a #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Champion in the WWE, or WWF at the time. Okay, that accolade alone should put her in the Hall of Fame over Ivory, over Beth Phoenix, over even Trish. I would put her over Trish. And I love Trish. Trish is awesome. She's one of the best divas of all time. But Chyna is better than all those divas. She was more over than those divas. Okay, in the short window, She was. And don't try to tell me that Vince McMahon did not see her at that time when she was wrestling just as big as anybody else. Because she was. There was an interview by Chris Jericho. You know how Vince almost fired Jericho because she hurt China, or I guess he had hurt China or something. I don't remember what the interview was, but Jarrett did an interview on his radio show about it. You know, there was a lot of respect for China during that time period. But because, of course, Triple H broke up with China and then got with Stephanie, because of that, China wasn't nothing. I don't care that she went out and did a porn star. There are people in the WWE Hall of Fame that are much worse, that did much worse after WWE. Okay, right? There's much worse. Like, you got Mike Tyson. A cool dude, I think. Boxer and shit like that. Mike Tyson, I think, had a real significant part in the WWE with Stone Cold Steve Austin, that storyline with Shawn Michaels. But you want to know what? He was a convicted rapist. That was much worse. That's much worse. That's much worse than a porn star. Okay? Being a porn star isn't a crime, first and foremost. And it's not nearly as bad as someone that's an actual convicted rapist. Okay? Mike Tyson is a convicted rapist, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So, I don't want to hear this bullshit that China can't get in because she's a porn star. Okay? Or she was a porn star. It's the most dumbest argument I've ever heard. There is a vendetta because Triple H... There's this whole vendetta because Triple H broke up with China, and because of that, she can't be in the Hall of Fame. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. And to see Jeff Jarrett get in, especially since Vince McMahon has flat out hated this guy for 18 years, okay? Not even going by his accolades, but the fact that Vince McMahon is now going to put him in. Now, some people are saying that, it's Triple H that's putting him in. No, Vince McMahon still has majority of the say of what's going on in WWE. Believe me. A lot of people just think, it's because the XFL, he's taking time. Believe me, Vince McMahon still have a serious role. And the Hall of Fame induction people, like all the people that were being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, this was planned months ago. Okay, this isn't just some last-second thing. They were planning this like 2 months ago, that he was going to be in. So, I don't want to hear this because WWE always does this. They always do this. They're not going to just, plan the Hall of Fame at the last second. They already have an idea of who's going to get in. So, no, that's not true at all. Okay, so Vince McMahon definitely played a part in putting him in the Hall of Fame or having the say on him getting in. And I disagree. I don't think he makes it on merit. I don't think he did enough for the company, for any of the companies. I don't think he was a draw. I mean, obviously WCW in 2000 was terrible. So I don't think his world championship runs did any help or did any favors. So no, I would not put him in. I would not put him in. I don't think he deserves to be in. Especially since he's been like basically non-existence in WWE. The fact that Jeff Jarrett now is going to be a WWE Hall of Famer to me is absolutely bullshit to me. Especially when they've trashed this guy for years. Like on there, you go watch any WCW DVD. Go watch any WCW DVD where they mention the world titles or anything like that, and I guarantee you will see them trashing Jeff Jarrett. The History of the World Heavyweight Championship DVD is a perfect example. They trash Jeff Jarrett. I mean, Vince McMahon publicly, when they bought WCW, publicly embarrassed Jeff Jarrett. Actually spelling out his name and saying "gone." That was a shoot. That was not a scripted promo. That was a shoot. He really meant what he was saying when he said that. Don't let yourself be fooled on that one. That was a shoot. Okay. So no, I don't think he should get in. That's my view on this. China's accolades to me are better. I would put her in before Jarrett. Of course, this is a guy comparing, to a woman. But here's the thing with China. China, to me, I wouldn't even put her in the female category, because they only put like one female in every year. Because China was wrestling against guys too. So I think she should have I don't think she should just be like if you're putting one diva in, I think she should take, a guy's. I think she would be the one that could take a guy's spot, because, from the Hall of Fame, because she actually wrestled guys too. She didn't just wrestle women. She wrestled guys too. So for that alone, I'm hoping that she could still get in. I don't know what the rule is, but I think China, if anyone could break the rule, quote unquote rule, I think it would be China, because China broke the rule already with the Intercontinental Champion, by winning the Intercontinental Champion. So there's still possible hope that China could get in, if that's the case. WWE can make up the rules as they go along with their, fake, scripted Hall of Fame. I shouldn't say fake. I hate using the word fake. But, with their scripted Hall of Fame. I remember Saw Monsters, because I've watched some of his stuff on YouTube. I remember him talking about a few weeks ago about how they're running out of, people to get in the Hall of Fame. And I didn't believe it at first, but after seeing this, you know what? I think they are desperate. I think they are desperate to putting people in the Hall of Fame, because when you're putting guys like Jeff Jarrett in the Hall of Fame, a guy who you basically have shitted on and blacklisted for 18 years, that tells me a lot, that you are in fact getting desperate to putting people in the Hall of Fame. So that's my take on this. I'd like to know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think Jeff Jarrett truly is a Hall of Famer? Do you believe he's a Hall of Famer? List down the reasons why you think he would be a Hall of Famer. Or do you agree with me that you don't think, Jeff Jarrett did enough? I don't think he drew enough. I definitely don't see people going around saying, yeah, Jeff Jarrett, or whatever. Like they did with, for example, with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't remember, people, obsessed over Jeff Jarrett, when he was in WWE. Definitely not in WCW. So what do you guys think? Do you think he deserves to be in here, or I'll leave it out there. Comment, rate. If you like this video or my videos, please subscribe. And that's about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace.